Hello gang, Melindon on the mic, yet with another Blackbeard aka Muscle D Teats video. Today we will analyze some mirror matches of this leader, and without any further ado, let's go to the first match. Let me also put the speed up double speed. These are all ranked matches in the simulator online, and the rank is between 1.2 and 1.8k. It's always because I play ranked not only with one leader rather than with many leaders, even if I want to try something new. So yeah, that's why. So let's see what's up with this match. We choose, of course, to go second here, and on our first hand we do get a stage, which is awesome, and we also see Van Agur and two Sigans. We first play our stage, so let me see. So he passes the first turn, so we are on our turn on our two dawns. So we use our stage to search, and then it's his turn with three dawns. He attaches all his dawns to his leader. He attacks me. Of course, I will take it. Why not? And that tells me that maybe he has many bricks in his hand, because he didn't even play a Lafitte, a stage, a Doc Q, something like that. Okay, so we are now at 4 dawn. We are still pretty healthy. The first thing that we do is, of course, we recycle. We attack. We don't want him to hit any triggers at this point, and we start building. So we start building by using our Lafitte to search something, and then of course we establish our top Q. And the reason why is we give him a target here, and we also establish a body that can KO something on the next turn. And the only thing that it took me some time here to play was because I was also thinking to play the blocker, the Vasco, in order to defend my Lafitte. But then I was like, okay, it's still too early, and on the next turn I'm at 6 dawn, and it would be great if I could KO something of his that he plays with Van Agur and Stronger, and I don't got enough dawn for Van Agur, Stronger, and Tokyo. And this is exactly what happens here. He plays a Laboon, and he KOs my Searcher. So what do we do here? Of course, we play our Van Agur, we KO his Laboon, and now we attack. Of course, we recycle to keep searching for things. We have two teaches. We don't need a third one, so we grab something of more value, like a Lafitte at that point, and then we attack him for 5. He counters, and we play our Lafitte, because on the next turn we attack 8 dawn, and we can establish something. We can search with Lafitte. We can do many things. And of course, why didn't I attack first and then KO his Lafitte? Because if you attack him first, I have my Doc Q on the field, and if he hits like, let's say, Sigan or something like that, then he can KO my Doc Q, and I will play my Van Agur. But after that, can KO his Laboon. So in such situations, first KO everything that you have to, and then try to kill him. So what he does here is he plays his Vasco. He KOs our Van Agur. We get to draw a card here because of Van Agur KO effect, and then he attacks also with his leader. We recycle first. We want to have some cards in our hands that we can use, and then afterwards we play Jesus, we play our blocker, we play a second blocker. Now we recycle, excuse me. I was like, do I want to keep my Sigan or my Doku? I decide here to keep my Sigan and recycle my Doku because I don't have any reducers on the field. And it's better to have Sigan. But, unfortunately, we don't get to search with our Lafitte, but he's there, he can do that later. I black hole him here because I wanted the +1 card so that my Jesus gets to 3k. We hit trigger, we hit the shockwave now, and we get to KO his Vasco for free. So this is the KO effect. This card is also great against Toffee. If you get to trigger this card, it's great. And even if you don't get to trigger this card, you can always counter by using this card, and then you get to KO one active character with a cost of 3 or less, so you can defend yourself and KO for free, like a Tits, a 2-cost Tits, or a Perona or something like that, or a Sengoku, and so on. Or of course, in situations like that, you can KO a character of your opponent, of the Tits. So you could also KO Laboon. We KO'd Vasco the turn after, the turn before that. So now we are at 10 done. We have our Blackbeards ready, but at that point I was like, do I really want to establish Blackbeard and start swinging with my 2 characters, or I want to go wider? Because he has here Laboon. What does Laboon do? KOs. We don't care about KOing. So what we do here, of course, is we attack with our leader he takes, we attack with our Jesus, and then we play 2 more Jesuses. And he immediately gives up. Because we have 2 blockers, we have 3 Jesuses, and it's GG. We have 3 life. As you can see, I have told you many times, guys, for Blackbeard. In this deck, the 10-cost Blackbeard is not mandatory to play. It's not the card that if you don't play this card, you don't win. No. In this deck, you need to establish your board. You need to build a strong board. And this is your finisher if you need to play him. Okay, so let's go to another match. This, let me go to the speed, make it double. Okay, first hand we have a Lafitte, and let's see. Okay, so we choose to go second. Here, and he plays his Lafitte on his first turn. We have also a little discussion here. So I play my own Lafitte. I hit 2 10-cost Titsis, but I don't care at all. So we draw a black hole because when you play against Tits, you want to be able to KO the birds, the Jesuses. And as you can see, he just drew Jesus here. So we are ready, we have a black hole, and let's see how it goes. So he KOs our Lafitte. Now we play another Lafitte here. We draw a blocker, we KO his Lafitte, and then we play a blocker. So we have now a blocker, we have a Lafitte, and we are at 4 done. Our opponent is now at 5 done. Let's see. Okay, so he plays the Doku, he KOs our Lafitte, which I also understand. Now we are at 6 done. And the The problem is we don't have any Van Agur, we don't have any Jesus here at the moment. It's still we do have cards, but we don't have the pieces of the puzzle that we need to, and that can also happen. So of course what we want to do here is to keep establishing a board, and unfortunately we don't have the best pieces to do it, but we do have some things. So on his turn he plays a Jesus and he attacks us, we take, and on our turn, on our 8th dawn turn, we immediately get rid of this Jesus. We have 4 dawn left play, so we attack with our Laboon, he takes, we attack with our leader, he takes, we establish a second Laboon here, so we have 2 blockers, we have 2 Laboons, we are next turn on our 10 dawn turn, so everything seems pretty nice at the moment, because we control this board, but we still haven't seen any of our key cards. And I'm not talking about my 10 cost steeds. I'm talking about, like I said, our Jesuses and our Van Agurs. We play 4 of them, 4 of each. So he gun, I think, our first Laboon, then he attacks us with 6k, we counter that of course, and then he establishes his Jesus there. Unfortunately we don't have any black hole here, so we can't do anything to this Jesus. We are at 10 dawn, and I was like, okay, you know what, instead of playing a teach here, I will just go for life, because we have 2 blockers, and if I manage somehow to bring him down to 1 or 0 life, and it's all. So here I play Doc Q, because I was like, okay, if you play a teach and I manage to keep my Laboon alive, I still have 2 stronger, I might be able to KO your teach and go for game. It's, yeah, you see, we might want it here to go for 10 cost teach instead, or to keep searching with our 1 cost. This was also, if you ask me, not a bad choice, because we also get to KO everything else that he plays here. So he attacks our Laboon, we don't want to sacrifice any blocker yet. We do it now, when he attacks us with his Perses, and he does the right thing here. So he nullifies our Laboon. That's great. That's great when you play this, because now at this point we can't use our Laboon to go for his leader. That would be great, because as you can see we drew a Sigan. If we could use our Laboon, we could do a -4, -2, Sigan, and then we would still have 5 dawn. So we would KO this Teach, attack him with 10k, he would take of course, and then we are still at 3 life with a blocker here. So on our next turn we would 90% go for game. This was the right choice here to nullify and block our Laboon, unfortunately for us. So of course the only option here that we got is to go for our Teach. And poke him for a card which he gives us, and then he keeps chaining Blackbeard. As you can see, it's the second one. He attacks us. I don't want to sacrifice my blocker yet, so we hit a trigger to draw 2 cards, but unfortunately we still we still keep getting the cards that we don't need in this game. We still get only like sea guns and this is my edge. So now we are at a point where I was like, okay, I either search for the missing pieces or we try to go for game next turn. But I think here the right choice would be to keep searching with this to my era. So I play here my the reason why I played here my Blackbeard was because I wanted to KO these verses. And how did I do that? I played my Tits, I nullified his verses, and then I KO'd these verses with my Laboon and my Doku. And of course, then I passed turn because he has two Blackbeards. We can't do anything about it. So we do have two Blackbeards now. We have a whole board. We have another blocker, so Vasco. So we have three blockers. We have 2 life. We have our leader here, and we have 2 Sigans. We have 2 Sigans. So with just 1 card, we need just 1 card, and then we would be able to KO, for example, 1 Blackbeard. What he does here is, of course, he nullifies one of our Blackbeards, he attacks us, we block it, and then he attacks us again 2 times. We hit another event here. So like you can see here, I just keep throwing cards that I don't need. This is such a bad luck on this game, but it can happen. It can happen. Now of course we are at a point where we can't do much. Because like we are at 1 life. He's also at 1 life, but we have maximum 3 hits here. If we want also to attack with our martial hits. So I was like, okay, 3 attacks and he has 2 blockers and 1 life. This is not the ideal situation here. So I either go for one of his stitches, the rested one, and I pass. Then he will have to deal with 1, 2, 3 blockers and life, or I will try to get you down to 1 life. So I poke him first with 7k. The thing is also that if you try here to attack one of his Blackbeards with your leader, you hit him with 15k and he has like 1,000 cards. The only way here to kill this Tits is to sacrifice your own Tits to do that. And at that point I didn't want to give him any blocker. So the first attack with 7k he takes. The first hit he takes. I was like, okay, now I will nullify one of your blockers. So don't forget your black hole is there to help you nullify blockers, not only to KO things. And then of course I attack with 9k, which he can easily counter with his cards. And then I was like, okay, if I hit you now with my martial hits, then you just need to sacrifice 1k, because you will block with 1 hits and you will sacrifice 1k. So you don't have to throw any cards, any big number of cards, and I will lose a blocker. And of course, as you can see, in such a match, the best card by far is this one. It's a black hole. And what he does here is, of course, he black holes 2 of my TCGs, and it's GG. And it's GG because, okay, I can do something about his first. I can't do anything about it because I'm also bricked. I'm also bricked here. You see, if I had a hand which would be, for example, full of 2Ks, I would have a chance. Yes, sure. Don't, because now I have only this blocker. I didn't manage to defend the first one, so even if we get this one, he has another 2 hits with 12k. So again, the best card in this matchup is Black Hole by far, if you ask me. And of course, you need to keep establishing your bodies. You need to go wide. In a situation like that, as you can see, if you chain your TCGs, you can get in a condition that you will win. But you also need to have luck, like in such a situation that I was pretty bricked, and from the start of the game I barely drew any. So my Jesus, I drew my only Jesus now, and no Van Agur, but it can also happen. Again, GG this game. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so we choose here to go seconds. Oh, it's really sunny today. Okay, so we go second, he goes first, he doesn't have anything to play. We go second and we play our Lafitte. And we draw another, so he does exactly the same with us. He kills our Lafitte and then he plays a Lafitte and he draws another Lafitte. So we kill his Lafitte here. It's like seeing that's the real deal. That's the mirror match that he wants to see. So we play our Lafitte. We don't have any 10 cost Blackbeards, but we don't care. We don't care. Like I said many times, go for the whiteboard. Go for the whiteboard, especially in the middle. We get a black hole so that we can deal with his Jesuses and stuff like that, and then we play a blocker. Now he's at 5 tone, and on the next turn we are at 6 tone, so we could play a Laboon and hopefully we hit a dog. Here he tries to kill our Lafitte, and we don't let him. We counter that, or we block that, and then he uses his dog to kill our so I think that here we didn't have to block like the last game. We could just take it. Now we are at 6. We don't have anything on our board, and we have also many events on our hand. We have 3 events, but we have our Jesuses, we have our Van Agurs, and we want to establish some bodies here. What we do here is we go for our Jesus, and then we attack his Lafitte. The reason why is because Jesus cannot be KO'd cannot be KO'd. So if he wants to KO my Jesus, he has to sacrifice a black hole. So he drew another Jesus through his Lafitte. Now we have a black hole. We KO his Jesus. We KO his Lafitte, and then we establish our second Jesus here. We managed to establish our second Jesus. On the next turn we are at 10 tone. We don't have any Blackbeard yet. We don't really care. We don't really care because we have other bodies here that which we can play. Our opponent is at 9 turn, he has a dog Q, he plays a Van Agur, but that doesn't mean anything at all because he can't KO one of our Jesuses only if he uses Black Hole and he gets a Laboon on the field. He gets a Laboon on the field and now he's like, okay, you know what, if you play a Blackbeard, I will do -4, -3, play a stronger maybe and then KO your 10 cost character, let's say. I was like, okay, you know what, I have 2 Jesuses and Jesuses get buffed if and when I trust cards. So what I do here is I was like, you know what, I will KO your 2 characters, I will attack you with 7, which you will take, that has buffed my Jesuses, and then I will attack you 2 more times with 7k. So he takes both of these, we are now 3 life, he's now 2 life, and we sit back here with 5 cards in our hands, 2 Jesuses, and a Blackbeard ready to be used if he uses his tits. So the first thing that he does here is he tries to eliminate one of my Jesuses with 11k, and we let him go, and then he uses a Black Hole to get rid of our second Jesus. At that point I was like, I either go for my tits, but if he has a tits, that is not the best play to do. And I was like, I either search here and establish a body or whatever. So I attack him, he gives me a counter, and I play 2 Van Agur. So I keep my tits. I'm not going to use my tits now. So this Blackbeard is like, okay, if you want to play the slow game, we will play the slow game, I have more cards than you. And I was like, okay, let's go, bro. He KOs one of my Van Agurs by using a C-gun. He has 6 turns left, and he plays a Laboon. He KOs my second Van Agur. I get to draw 2 cards from these 2 Van Agurs, and then he also plays the stage, and he recycles. And this is my age, and he draws another Lafitte, and he gets to hit me for 5k. So I take. We're now both at 2 life, but he has a board. I don't have anything at this point. I was like, okay, fair enough. So I don't like your Laboon. I don't like your Tokyo. I'm sorry that I'm telling you that. And the first thing that we do, of course, here is to clear his board and establish our own. So we destroy his board. We go Laboon, we go Lafitte, we draw a Jesus, we pass. We pass because we know, both of us know that the first person that will start using his teaches, then the next person will probably start chaining his own 10 cost teaches. And like we said many times, what's really important in this match here is to go wide. So as you can see, he does exactly the same. He KOs my Laboon, he plays a Jesus. Fortunately, we have another Black Hole in our hand, and we have our own Jesus to save us. Our Jesus the Savior. And we play our Jesus, we play our states, we are able to recycle a card. We prefer to go Doc Q here because, you know what, why not? Maybe we could use him on the next turn to KO something like Lafitte or something else, or something bigger like Blackbeard or something like that. And we prefer here to go for life instead of Lafitte, because I was like, okay, if you don't have any black hole, you can't do anything about my Jesus. That means that you will go for a teach. If you go for a teach, you can't use your Lafitte. Okay, let's see what happens here. So we pass, he's at a card, he has a card advantage here, and he has another black hole. So he gets here to KO our black hole, our Jesus. He gets here to attack us one more time, which we counter, and he plays another Jesus. He plays another, and we draw another to another black hole here. We draw to another black hole, and I was like, you know what? 4 to 2 to 4. It's exactly 10 done, right? So what I will do here is I will, of course, get rid of your Jesus, right? I can't afford to have a free 12k body on the field. So I first attack to see what he will do with his blocker. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I don't need you to have any blocker here on the field. I will go for it, which is what I do here. So I leave only one card on my hands, and this is my 10 cost teach. I was like, you know what? Do you want here to go for Blackbeard? Go for it. Again, he has a card advantage. I'm at only one card on my hand. He has Lafitte, and he uses his Lafitte to search. So he uses his Lafitte to search instead of attacking my Doku with his Lafitte. So the first thing that he does is he attacks me. He searches, then he attacks. Then he attacks with his leader to my Doku, and then he establishes another Jesus. I was like, okay. You see that 6 cards, and I have 2 characters on the board, and you have only 1 life. Do you really have the counter to do that? I don't think so, because I have counted how many Blackbeards you have drawn the whole game, and I know what you have on your hand, or most of your cards here. And if you go back to this video, you will see that he drew 4 Blackbeards from his searches. So that means that you know he has 7 cards. He has 7 cards, and you know that 4 of them are non-counter cards. Of course, you will go for game here. The only thing that could save him at that point would be, for example, to have 3 2Ks. And as you can see, he has 2 2Ks here. But if you go back, you will see that he has also used many of his 2Ks. So in situations like that, and this is also why I wanted to show you this match, is you want to go wide. Of course, you want to keep clearing the board of your opponent, but when I was at 1 card on my hand, and he was like, he had 6 cards, you know at that point that even if I play 1 Blackbeard, on the next turn I don't have any cards, and you have 4 Blackbeards to chain. Go for it. So in situations like that, of course, you go for the Blackbeard chaining. So another point of this deck, guys, is you really need to know what is your play style in each game and at each stage of the game. And that's that's one of the reasons why this deck is so hard to play, because okay, it's pretty straightforward what you do with that with that deck, or what you want to do with that deck, but it's hard to pilot that deck, to know which cards to trust, when to do what. So like we saw here, in a situation like that, you don't want to go white forever. Also, you need two things. You need to pay attention at what your opponents draws, because you see that. You get to see that. If you use a searcher, you always know the card that has been drawn, always. So try to remember those cards, because in a situation like that, you pretty much know what your opponent has. And if you see that your opponent has no cards or almost no cards, go for your big boys. Go for your big boys, because he will not be able to do anything at all. Right? Okay, so that was it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button if you liked the video. Let me know in the comment section below what I did wrong, what I did correctly, what would you change in that deck list in my playstyle, what you do differently. I always appreciate your feedback. Thank you guys. Peace. Bye.